All right, let's climb that corporate ladder. Today, we're diving deep into The Rules of Work by Richard Templar.
Oh yeah, this book.
It's full of tips on how to navigate the workplace, and we're here to help you actually use them.
So get ahead. Right.
Exactly, so you can get ahead.
What I find interesting is it's not just about being good at your job, you know?
Right.
It's about all those unwritten rules.
Mm-hmm.
The things that really affect how people see you at work
Yeah.
and how you move up in your career.
It's like Templar's saying, skills are important, but knowing how to play the game is how you get to the top.
Exactly. And he starts with walk your talk.
Yeah.
It's about excelling in your actual job, of course,
Yeah.
but also strategically managing how other people see you.
Like that whole image thing.
Yes. Like,
Mhm.
you just finished a big project, went above and beyond, crushed it.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of waiting for someone to notice, you proactively share your success.
Oh, okay.
But you got to frame it the right way,
With key people.
with the decision makers. And frame it like, hey, this is a valuable contribution to the team.
Oh, I see. So not braggy.
Not boastful at all. Just, hey, look what we did.
Subtle. I like it.
That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
It's subtle but effective.
It is.
And this ties into another rule. Never let anyone know how hard you work. Make it look effortless.
Like you're just brilliant naturally.
Exactly. Effortless brilliance. Remember that story about practicing the manager walk on CCTV?
Oh, yeah.
He was so focused on perfecting his power stride, he didn't even realize the cameras were on.
Hilarious.
Imagine having your walk of shame
Yeah.
play back for the whole office.
Oh my gosh, that's painful.
Makes you think about how we're perceived, right?
Self-awareness is key.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's about knowing how others see our actions and adjusting.
Makes sense.
And speaking of strategy, Templar is all about thinking ahead, planning.
Oh, yeah. He's always emphasizing that. Keep moving. Don't get stuck.
He breaks it down into short, medium, and long-term plans.
A framework, huh?
Yeah. It's a framework you can totally apply to your own goals.
Yeah.
Think about it. Where do you see yourself in a month,
Wow. Okay.
a year, 5 years? It helps you visualize the steps
Breaking it down. Yeah.
and keeps you focused on what you want to achieve. And this reminds me of another rule. Learn from others' mistakes.
Oh, that's a good one. It's that saying, isn't it? A clever man learns from his own mistakes, but a wise man learns from others.
So true. Watching what your colleagues do wrong,
Oh, yeah.
without being judgmental, obviously,
Of course, yeah.
it can be so insightful. It's like a free masterclass.
What not to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it can save you from making those same blunders.
All right, so we've got the walking the walk, the strategic thinking. Now let's talk image.
Yes.
Templar dedicates a whole section to that, the art of perception.
Develop a style that gets you noticed.
Right.
That's where he starts. Standing out, but in a tasteful way.
Tasteful, right, yeah.
Yes. He contrasts the timeless elegance of, say, Cary Grant and Lauren Bacall
Oh, the classic.
with more outlandish styles. Classic sophistication never goes out of fashion.
So not about wearing the loudest outfit then.
Exactly. Think of someone in your office who commands respect without being flashy. That's the kind of personal brand you want to build. Quiet confidence and competence.
Not what you wear, but how you carry yourself.
Precisely.
And that leads right into be attractive. He's quick to say this isn't just about looks.
It's more than that, yeah.
It's about confidence, presence, how you carry yourself.
It's that self-assuredness.
That draws people in.
And let's not forget, be cool. Sounds counterintuitive, right? Remaining aloof, but not arrogant.
That is tricky. How do you stay approachable but still have that air of mystery?
Think of it as quiet confidence. You're not pushing yourself on people, but you're not hiding in the corner either. It's a balance,
A subtle balance.
which makes you intriguing.
All right, so we've covered looking the part, thinking strategically, and mastering perception. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty, the office game.
This is where know the corporate culture comes in. Understanding those unspoken rules, the social dynamics, is key to both fitting in and getting ahead.
He uses that example of the design studio with the quiz on the wall, right?
Yes.
To attract talent, but it also reveals a lot about their culture.
Right. It makes you think, would I thrive here?
Totally.
So you walk in, see that quiz. Is it playful? Intensely analytical. It gives you a sense of them.
Immediately.
And figuring that out, even the unspoken parts, is crucial.
So those subtle cues are just as important as nailing your interview.
Absolutely. what makes the company tick, what they value, how things actually get done.
The real deal.
It's all there under the surface.
He also mentions dressing up or down accordingly and knowing where to hang out,
Observation is key.
blending in strategically.
You don't want to be the odd one out, especially when making a good impression.
Yeah.
How people dress, socialize, even how they communicate. Those are your clues.
It's like being a social chameleon, adapting to thrive. And a key part of that is diplomacy, cultivating positive relationships, navigating office politics.
He's got a whole section on that.
One that really struck me was don't gossip. It's so easy to get caught up in that rumor mill.
Oh, yeah.
But Templar makes a strong case for listening without participating.
It's a dangerous game. You're protecting yourself,
Right?
avoiding drama.
Imagine being known as the office gossip.
Exactly. Would people trust you?
Nope, not at all.
Would they want you on their team? Probably not.
And it's all connected to standing up for others, too.
He argues that even fake compliments can backfire.
Oh, wow.
Creates a toxic environment, everyone trying to one-up each other.
It's true, I've seen that.
It's much better to be genuine.
He gives that example about Adam, a difficult coworker. Instead of complaining, he found something good to say.
Yeah,
Finding the good, even in tough people. Building loyalty.
it's powerful.
It is. All right, we've covered a lot. Perception, politics, even a bit of ethics.
A good start.
We'll be right back with part 2, where we'll delve even deeper into understanding the system and making it work for you.
Welcome back. Let's keep exploring Richard Templar's The Rules of Work.
Last time, we talked a lot about perception and office politics.
Oh yeah, those are good.
Fascinating stuff. Now I'm kind of curious about how to protect ourselves
Ah, yeah.
in those trickier ethical situations.
That's smart. Templar's got a whole section on this, starting with know the ethics of your industry. Really think about the moral side of your work.
What do you mean?
Like, are you contributing something positive? Or is there, a darker side you might get pulled into?
Being aware of the pitfalls.
Exactly. He shares his own experience working for a company that suddenly got shady.
Uh-oh.
He knew he had to leave, even though it meant giving up financial security.
Wow, that's a tough call. But it
Yeah.
shows you got to stick to your values.
Your integrity is non-negotiable. And talking about protection, he also mentions knowing the legalities of your industry.
So not just ethical, but legal too.
Right. Understanding the laws, the rules. It can shield you from trouble.
Makes sense. So it's like know the rules of the game to avoid getting played.
Yes.
Yeah.
He actually worked for a company that was breaking the law.
No way.
Had to leave to protect himself.
Tough, but smart.
It wasn't easy. And that brings us to setting personal standards.
Okay.
Templar says you got to define your own code of conduct, the lines you won't cross.
Like your own internal compass, guiding your decisions.
Yes. He gives a great example. When faced with something unethical, ask yourself, what would the press do with this?
Oh, that's a good one.
It's about holding yourself accountable and your company to a higher standard.
So it's not just personal, it's about the bigger picture, the consequences.
Absolutely. Along with setting standards, Templar is all about being ready for those career curveballs.
Like what?
Redundancies, takeovers, or even just tough colleagues.
Nobody wants those, but they happen.
They do. But he says, see these threats as chances to grow, to adapt.
It's like turning lemons into lemonade.
Exactly. Be flexible, be resilient, bounce back.
Yeah.
And when those times hit, having a strong support network makes a difference.
He talks about building those relationships, right?
Yeah, contacts, friends, mentors, be able to have got your back.
That support system is so valuable.
And remember, diplomacy is key to keeping those relationships strong. Templar circles back to don't gossip,
Oh, he's right to emphasize that.
because it's just that important.
It's so tempting, but the risk, not worth it.
Much better to be known as a good listener.
Than a rumor spreader.
Exactly. And it's not just about avoiding gossip, it's about negativity in general. Instead of complaining behind someone's back, Templar challenges you to go directly to them.
Whoa, that's bold.
It is. Address your concerns head on, professionally,
It
respectfully,
forces you to be honest.
and direct. And then on the flip side, there's standing up for others.
So important. It's easy to get swept up in negativity, especially in a competitive environment.
He shares a great example of finding something good to say about a tough coworker. Shifting the energy.
Small acts of kindness can make a difference.
They do.
Now, what about communication? Any rules on that?
He really stresses asking questions. Not just to get info, but to show you're engaged. A good listener.
Actively participating.
Yes, showing you value what they have to say.
I see.
And simple as it sounds, he's got a rule about not swearing.
Oh, right, yeah. Maintaining that professionalism.
Exactly. Emotions in check, especially at work.
And of course, being a good listener ourselves.
Crucial. Eye contact, clarifying questions, repeating key points.
Active listening.
Shows you're present, engaged.
Not just waiting for your turn to talk.
Right.
Now, this next section really intrigues me. Looking after yourself. Climbing the corporate ladder, we inevitably attract more attention. And sometimes, not all of it is positive.
That's so true. More success, more jealousy,
Yeah.
maybe even sabotage. Self-preservation gets even more important.
Yeah. So how do we do that?
He starts strong. Never lie.
That's a big one.
Maintaining integrity. Avoiding that slippery slope of deceit.
Easier to keep track of things that way, too.
And less stressful. Honesty, in the long run, is the best policy.
Protecting your reputation.
Exactly. And he also advises against covering up for anyone else. Set those boundaries.
Oh, yeah. Don't get pulled into other people's messes.
It can be tough to say no, I get it. But you're not responsible for their actions. Sometimes the best way to help is to let them face the consequences.
Tough love.
Sometimes it's about protecting yourself but not being heartless.
A delicate balance.
It is. And being strategic with your communication helps. He talks about knowing the difference between the truth and the whole truth.
Okay, so, not lying, but
You don't have to volunteer info that could hurt others, but you don't lie.
discernment, huh? Knowing when to hold back.
Exactly.
But without compromising your honesty.
Right. And another part of protecting yourself. Playing your cards close to your chest.
Ooh, I like that.
Be discreet. Don't reveal your plans too early.
Especially in a competitive environment.
Right. Don't give your rivals ammo.
Like poker, you don't want to show your hand too soon.
Perfect analogy. Building on that, he talks about having your own secret rulebook,
Interesting. Your own strategies, kept secret.
your own tactics, your edge.
Makes sense. Keep that advantage.
Exactly. And while you're working on those strategies, remember to keep the faith. Hold on to your values,
Even when it's tough.
even when you're surrounded by negativity. He shares a story about a reader who faced accusations, adversity,
Yeah.
but in the end, he won because he stuck to his principles.
Powerful. Integrity wins.
It does. It's not just about playing the game, it's about playing it right.
With integrity. I like that. Welcome back to our deep dive into the rules of work. We've talked about ethics, diplomacy, even how to handle office politics.
Now let's explore how to really understand this system. Use it to your advantage.
Get ahead.
Templar calls this section, Know the System and Milk It. He's talking about those unspoken rules, the codes of conduct that can make or break your career.
It's not just what you know, right? It's what you know about the unwritten rules.
Exactly. He starts with this. Know all the unspoken rules of office life.
What kind of rules?
Oh, little things. Who gets to park where? Who controls the resources you need?
Ah, so it's more about the power dynamics.
Yes. The things that aren't written down, but everyone knows.
It's just like observing the tribe,
Yeah.
figuring out their customs and rituals.
Love that analogy. Templar even tells this funny story about a Swiss translator.
Oh, translator.
Yeah, in charge of the vacation schedule. Just shows you every workplace has its quirks.
Makes you realize things aren't always logical.
Nope. And once you understand those rules, you can use them to your advantage.
Like that story about the coffee ritual.
Oh, yeah. Strategically using that to get to the CEO.
Brilliant. He used that time to plant ideas.
Subtly, of course. It's about finding those unexpected opportunities to connect with the people in charge.
I like it. Sneak in there. And speaking of being strategic, what about how we address people?
Oh, yeah, that's important. Knowing what to call everyone.
It's not just about titles, though, right?
No, it's about understanding what's appropriate. Formality, familiarity. It all depends on the workplace.
The vibe.
He's got this great story about using first names to create a bond with his new boss, but still keeping it professional in front of everyone else.
It's about reading those cues,
Adapting your approach.
Yeah, so you don't come across the wrong way. And while we're on perception, what about all those late nights at the office?
Ah, yes. Know when to stay late and when to go early.
That whole presenteeism thing, people feeling like they have to stay late.
To look dedicated.
But Templar pushes back against that, right?
He says, be efficient, effective.
Get your work done and then go live your life.
Exactly. Set the example. Show people it's okay to leave. And he even gets into this tricky area. office perks and theft.
Oh, that's a good one. Like, when does taking a pen home cross the line?
It's a gray area.
Yes.
You got to understand the company's policies, their culture.
But even if it's allowed,
Templar says, be discreet. Don't draw attention to yourself.
don't make it a big deal.
Exactly. And, sometimes things aren't what they seem.
Oh, yeah.
Templar talks about undercurrents and hidden agendas, the stuff that's really driving decisions.
So behind-the-scenes action.
Like this story about a boss who insisted on being the last one out every night. Turns out he was using that time to commit fraud.
Whoa, no way.
This goes to show you got to be observant.
Read between the lines.
And then there's the favorites.
Every workplace has them. The boss's pet.
Kepler says, figure out who they are. Build relationships with them. But subtly.
So you get in with the in crowd.
Access to information, influence.
Without looking like you're sucking up.
Exactly. And don't forget the mission statement.
The mission statement, isn't that just corporate jargon?
Templar says, no way. Understanding that mission statement can really help you.
How so?
It's about aligning yourself with the company, their values, their goals,
Showing you're a team player.
committed to the bigger picture.
I never thought of it that way.
And now, competition, especially when it comes to promotions.
Okay, let's get competitive.
Templar starts with, identify the opposition.
Know your enemy.
He's not messing around. Know who you're up against, inside and outside the company.
Do your research.
Be prepared. Don't underestimate anyone. And once you know who you're dealing with,
Not giving too much away, right?
exactly. Keep your plans close to the vest. Don't give your rivals anything they can use against you.
Play it cool.
He's even got some strategies for dealing with those rivals,
Like what?
making them seem irreplaceable in their current role.
Oh, clever. So they don't even tree rye for the promotion.
It's a way to neutralize the competition without being negative. And he cautions against damning with faint praise.
What's that?
Oh, those backhanded compliments. Sounds nice, but it's actually a dig.
This can be sneaky.
They backfire. Makes you look bad.
Best to be genuine.
Always. And finally, get this. Templar says it's okay to break the rules sometimes.
Wait, what? After all this talk about rules?
Yes, only when your gut tells you it's absolutely necessary.
Trust your instincts.
The rules are a guideline, not set in stone.
Be flexible.
The goal is to internalize them, make them second nature.
So you're not even thinking about it anymore. You just know how to play the game.
Exactly.
So there you have it. A deep dive into the rules of work. We've covered a lot.
Ethics, diplomacy, personal branding.
How to handle those tricky office dynamics.
And of course, how to understand the system and use it to your advantage.
It's not just about hard work. It's about smart work. Knowing the rules and playing the game strategically.
We hope you found this deep dive valuable.
Now we have a challenge for you. Think about which rule you can use right now in your own workplace.
To make a difference. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing.
And keep playing by the rules.
Or strategically breaking them. When you have to.
See you next time.